That worked pretty good.
Hola, everybody.
Alright. Here I come to save the day.
Dun, dun, dun.
Alright.
Cecil saving our damn day.
Hey everyone, welcome to the horror show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I mean, Fuego here.
Back with a vlogish, kind of vlogish, kind of just hanging out, discussing / podcast, because we could definitely use this as a podcast later on if we want to.
And
so,
in fact, I would imagine we will.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to download that audio because I didn't set up the speaker. But that's what happens when you do things after already doing the news with booze.
News the booze.
All right. So, what we are here to discuss today are the top 5 horror icons we would, or types of horror icons we would choose to be if we could so choose. So, yes, we are going to be counting down from 5 to 1. And so for number 5, I'm going to go with Chrome Skull from the Laid to Rest movies.
What?
Yes, the guy that carries...
Laid to Rest is a really good Lamb of God song.
This knife right here.
Damn, and you actually have it.
I have the actual knife. It's the shark blade. It's really awesome.
How many of those did they make? 2?
No, they made, this
2
is,
or 3,
you can get a number of,
No,
I mean...
the films.
Oh, two Laid to Rest films.
Yeah,
2 Laid to Rest films.
Yeah.
Look at the knuckles, though. The brass knuckles have the tiger claws on them.
Yeah, that shit's intense.
And then this, if you jab someone and you pull it out, you're pulling a bunch of innards out with all of the serrated edges here. Because if you guys can see, it not only is this shaped blade, but the serrated edges go all the way down. So yeah, it is, it would be a nasty blade to go up against. So this is the Chrome Skull blade. This is what he uses. And then he wears a Chrome Skull, which actually I meant to grab beforehand, but I didn't.
It's like kind of Jason-esque, right?
A little bit. It looks kind of like this, actually. So the Chrome Skull mask is very reminiscent to this. And so he runs around like this. Hang on, I'll just put it on.
There you go.
So this is essentially what Chrome Skull does, except he wears a completely black suit. I shouldn't do that. He wears a completely black suit, and the cool thing is he wears a GoPro on his shoulder.
What?
So he films every single one of his crimes and kills.
That's sick bastard.
So yeah, I think.
So he can rewatch it and jerk off as he.
Well, I wasn't thinking jerk off wise because again, this is one I'd want to be. No, it's because of the filmmaker in me. Mm-hmm. I would think if I were going around killing people with a GoPro on my shoulder, I'd be able to cut together some pretty badass little sizzle reels.
Document everything insane and monumental that you're doing, I guess.
Exactly. So yes, my first one, number 5, Chrome Skull, and the ability to film my murders because I think as someone that created the horror show, as someone that loves to direct and film different things and put together videos, I think that would be especially fascinating. Okay.
Well, my number 5 is at least in a comparable vein of self-awareness and meta-ness, I guess. I'm picking Ghostface. And I'm picking Ghostface from the Scream series because of the fact that I am a horror-obsessed person who would really just take it to that degree if I was actually out on a murdering spree. I would honestly, like, talk to my victims and all of that wackiness like they eventually did in, the back half of 1 and 2. 2 being my favorite Scream movie. I love Scream 2. The first one is okay, third one is pretty bad, but 4, I felt like they really got an interesting amount of the whole just remake awareness and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I would be one of those horror-obsessed killers who would bring reference to it as I was going about my card.
That's fair. That's a good answer, I think. That's a good answer. Okay, so Ghostface. All right, cool. Yes. All right, so my next one, I think I'm going to make my number 4 the Cabin in the Woods Corporation. Because
you're going deep, bro.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, but you know, it seems like it would be fun to be a corporation that are purposely setting up all of these different horrific scenarios for different kinds of control groups.
Such a good movie.
You know, you got the kids in the cabin. I'm sure they have different scenarios for different creatures that they are unleashing upon their victims.
Yeah.
So I think I think orchestrating that and being in control of who went up against what and having to find the right victims for each creature and knowing that all of these creatures are out there and ultimately you're trying to service the greater good because you're trying to find the weaknesses. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, no, you're trying to kill these kids, but in order to find the weaknesses of the creatures, I would hope. Otherwise, they're just a force for evil, which would be fun too.
Well, I mean, I thought it was like a blood sacrifice type thing in that, where like they had to offer up the...
That's true. I guess they were trying to bring about the end of the world, so...
Or avert the end of the world.
Was it avert?
Yeah, it was to avert the end of the world with the blood sacrifice of
That's
these
right.
kids.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they failed.
That movie is damn good, though, man.
I need to rewatch it. It's been too long.
Joss Whedon, Drew Goddard. Oh, it's a fantastic
Is it Goddard or Goddard?
Goddard, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Get on me on this.
No, I don't know which is right in this case. But yeah, no. So Cabin in the Woods Corporation, I think, would be my number 4 horror. I know it's stretching the word icon, but I think it would be. I'm just trying to think of
iconic movie, dude.
Yeah,
like,
I think
easily
so.
iconic.
I think
movie.
so. So go ahead. What's your number 4?
I don't think mine is an icon in comparison, especially for the fact that. So I wanted to do a werewolf of some sort, but a werewolf that I would want to be.
Okay.
So I went Wolf Cop.
Nice. Okay.
Dude, I love the fact that
because you maintain most of your humanity.
Sorry. A lot of it, yes.
Sorry, I'm not going to tell you why you chose it.
You know why I chose Wolf Cop. He's a hard drinking, like fucking rock loving, crazy Canadian cop. And,
human female boning.
Yes, and with fantastic ballads as he's doing in the jail cells and stuff. I'm very excited for another Wolf Cop, but I do enjoy the fact that you do maintain the predominance of your humanity, and I mean. Just the fact that he seemed more aware even after he turned, in contrast with lots of other like werewolf films that I've seen, where it's like night and day, where they are completely given over to the transformation and stuff. He was very just with it and just with expanded powers, and it was almost more superhero-y than it was like straight up horror. And so, but that movie's bloody. The first one especially, where he puts the guy in the fryer and all that. I mean, damn, the movie is great. So I would be. Don't turn your back on the Wolf Cop or whatever. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, I that's a great choice, honestly, because like you said, he keeps his humanity. He still loves donuts. Yeah. He still upholds the law. He just goes through these phases, as it were.
Yes.
And yeah, you get it.
Cycles.
Thank you.
Yes.
But yeah, no, good choice. All week, folks. Good choice. So my number 3, I think I'm going to go with. Chucky. I think I'll go with Chucky for number 3.
You would like to put your soul into a small doll.
I think if I was stuck being a horror icon, I think being Chucky wouldn't be that bad because you could mess with so many people. You could literally make people think they're insane because they're seeing a doll talking to them.
Did that doll just move?
Yeah, I mean, and you can just do little little tiny movements and fuck with people all over the place. Or you could go and, if you wanted to, you could literally become the biggest thing in Hollywood because they could make movies with you acting like a killer doll, even though you are, sort of a killer doll. You don't have to actually kill, but you could have a seriously awesome career if I chose to be Chucky but didn't kill people. But I could have a serious career in Hollywood looking like a killer doll.
Bring it.
Why not, And especially if I'm anatomically correct, as the later Chucky movies ascertain, I think that it wouldn't be such a bad thing. It would just be the same as being a little person.
That was so well put.
Yeah. Sure, go ahead. Fuego, you're number 3. Quick, help me dig me out of this.
No, you're fine. My number 3 is actually a guy who employed a lot of little people to do his bidding.
Nice.
And we're
good transition.
Yes, exactly. And that's because I would be, rest in peace, Angus Scrimm, the Tall Man. I love the interdimensional aspect of his powers, the fact that he could basically enslave people in his weird alternate reddish dimension and, basically smush them down so they're the little midge size, about the size of Chucky. And I just love the Phantasm movies. How could I not try to incorporate a man who is, he's otherworldly. They basically, in some of the later volumes, I think 3 and 4 specifically, clarify that he is like a traveling alien of some sort, which is just nutsoid. And Yeah, he's like the Lord of the Dead in many aspects. So I would love to have dominance over pretty much every dead thing. I would be the Tall Man. Yeah, that's my number 3.
I'm surprised you didn't go with Randall Flagg from The Stand.
Didn't even occur to me. Maybe this list is changing. Maybe a Stephen King character who I had on here is not going to be there any longer.
All right, sorry. I'm just saying, you know.
I love Phantasm though, man.
That's true. I do understand that. I
adore Phantasm.
All right, so
my number 1's not changing.
That's true. Well, I mean, maybe you do have Randall Flagg on your list. I don't know what's on your list, so we'll see. All right, so my number 2, I'm going to go with...
Not number 2!
I'm going to go with The Thing. I'm going to go with The Thing from Another World from John Carpenter's 1986, is it, version?
Might be 84.
84, whatever. 1980s version of The Thing. Because I think, assuming I could still have human-like thought as an alien creature...
I think that's kind of presumptive on your part.
I think it is, but still, the ability to change into other people that are interacting with my victims, you know, without them knowing, I think that would be a really fun way to go about stalking and killing people. As, like, if I had to put myself in the mindset of a serial killing slasher or something like that, like, I think being able to subvert them by shifting into their actual friends and people that we're interacting on a regular basis, I think that would be a fun... If there was fun to be had, I think that would be the fun way to do it.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting because I was racking my brain to think of a changeling type character that I could throw on my list, and I kept thinking Supernatural and a couple changelings I had on there, but yeah, it just didn't correlate. So you went with a good one there, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, damn right. The Thing is fantastic.
You're number 2.
My number 2. Shall I change it? Will I change it? You know?
Don't change it.
I'm not going to change it. I'm going to go with Pennywise, as I did before. Bob Gray, just this almost eternal evil presence that has found a home and really doesn't have to do much aside from getting up at a certain time every X amount of years and chowing down and chilling out, and then it just goes right back into hibernation. It's an easy amount of evil, but yet a fascinating aspect because I'm somebody who likes to get comfortable and not get out of that comfort zone, and, you know, that's not necessarily a good thing. But, man, Pennywise is fascinating for that sheer fact because he found an area where he was just cool with it, and, man, so much of the dastardly doings that he's done. And children's meat, I mean, shit, I've had veal. Veal is so much more delicious than cow, so, yeah, there you go.
That's true.
I'm Pennywise.
Pennywise is a good choice because... actually, he correlates pretty similarly to my number 1, but Pennywise can become their greatest fear, which is a really cool aspect. So I think, again, if I'm in the mind of a serial killer and trying to say what would be the most fun to be as a horror icon, I think Pennywise would be one because you literally get to... You have to scare the shit out of them in order to make them taste good.
Yeah, you have that transformative versatility too. So
yes,
whereas
the changeling of it all, just like you said.
So I did kind of find a changeling.
Absolutely.
Yes, I did.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, in the book, he's like the Wolf Man. He's Creature from the Black Lagoon. All these different things, and yet in the film, he was everything from the weirdo in the painting to the leper to all this different stuff. And so, yeah, just the ability to assume any form to frighten you. That I like.
That is very good.
It's good.
That is very good. So, again, that leads me to my number 1, which is, of course, Freddy Krueger, who has been my number 1 horror icon forever.
Yeah,
one of the only things I've ever dreamt about from the horror world. Now,
did you dream being him, or did you
dream
being
terrorized by him?
Okay.
Yeah. But I think being him would be fun because, again... You're in control of their world. Like it's your world, but they think it's theirs. Yeah. And so you not only have access to their brains, and you can assume not only their greatest fear, a la Pennywise, but you can assume their best friend. You can be their best friend and turn on them and stab them in the last second as their best friend, which terrifies them even more, which gives you that sickeningly sweet kind of thing, you know, like, And so being able to do that, being a complete master of the dream world, being completely unkillable in the dream world, as long as you avoid being brought out into the real world, I think Freddy is you are the dream warrior. You know what I mean? Like,
he's the dream
warrior.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't dream no more.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get any better than Freddy because everyone can be your victim because everyone has to go to sleep. You're not limited by geography.
Yeah.
You're not limited by class. You're not limited by money. You're not limited by security. You get access to every single person if you want to.
No stipulations.
He is the greatest power in the horror universe.
And greatest horror villain, at least for me. Now, after saying that, I segue into my choice. And my choice is more, for my number one, of a personal choice because of the fact that I want to be a vampire so badly. And I was actually blessed enough to act in a short film that we did, which this man wrote, and
directed.
And directed, exactly.
How dare you?
I'd be Skinner Sweet, bro, because of the fact that I live forever, you know? I mean, I always think about the Lost Boys, where it's like, party all night, blah, 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 living, live forever, what's bad about being a vampire? And the fact that Scott Snyder did such interesting things with the mythology of American Vampire, for the sheer fact that he created differentiations between the vulnerabilities of European vampires versus American vampires. And the fact that you can go out in the sunlight as an American vampire, you're still going to be weakened by it, but it's not going to kill you necessarily. You've got gold instead of silver, just all these different differentiating aspects. And the fact that he's an anti-hero of sorts that, generation after generation, whether it was in, the original volume where, it was taking place in the Flapper days in the 20s, or, the 30s where they were, what they were in Vegas, where they were initially building the Hoover Dam, and then the 40s with World War II, and the 50s with the Greasers and all this shit. The fact that you could go and just see agelessly all of these different eras and terrorize and do your thing and drink blood and be a badass. I mean, yeah, Skinner Sweet all day for me. My number one, bro.
Cool.
Yes.
All right, that works. Did you want to have an alternate, considering what I brought up in the middle of it?
Well, you have joked with me many times that there are no honorable mentions, sir, but I mean...
I'll let you pull one out.
Randall Flagg would definitely be an honorable mention. And it's so funny that it didn't even occur to me, because he has jumped through, more so than Pennywise, through so many different Stephen King iterations of storytelling, whether the Dark Tower stories, The Stand, where we first saw him in, Eyes of the Dragon, obviously, which I really hope they eventually make into a movie. He really, for me, even more so than the Crimson King, is the quintessential Stephen King villain, and so that's why I was so pissed at the way that they kind of gave him his end and kind of a disservice in that final Dark Tower book. But I mean, Flagg is he's wearing his denim, dude, and he's got his long hair, and he's just kind of a snarky, just snide kind of asshole. I still love, more so than anything, maybe the very end of the third book, where the third book of the Dark Tower, I should say, where he comes up to the TikTok man, who is this guy who has practically died after his encounter with Roland and those guys, and he's like, somebody used to say back in the day, "My life for you," and that's what the crazy guy in the stand said to him as he was being so worshipful. But yeah, Flagg is he's amazing, he's iconic, and I mean, shit, the fact that Richard Ferris or whatever, in the most recent Gwendy's Button Box, King keeps putting him in stuff for a reason, and yes, iconic, even if Pennywise maybe came to my mind before him. So that's fault of mine.
My honorable mention, I'm going to say it would either be, well, no. I
Hellraiser?
would have said Victor Crowley, except for the fact, because he gets to come back every night no matter what, if he dies or not.
I think that's pretty cool, though, because then
it is pretty cool. He wouldn't die. He is forever, but he's forever tortured, forever searching for his father. So that kind of is a torturous relationship. Exactly. So instead, I think... Oh, it's just left my head. Oh, no.
It isn't Hellraiser, is it?
Shit, no, definitely not. Oh,
is it
no.
a book? Is it a video game? Is it a movie?
No. Of course this is going to happen during the freaking episode.
So Randall Flagg, pretty awesome. Gotta say.
Damn it. Oh, no. I ran into a drunken hole because we filmed this after the horror show News with Booze.
After News with Booze. So you're in that hole with Lewis Carroll, and we're trying to figure out.
I guess, we'll go with Victor Crowley because he can reach... Oh, no, what I was going to say was Pazuzu, the demon from The Exorcist. Because if you take into account the TV show, which continued the Exorcist lore, Pazuzu stays out there, and Pazuzu can jump from person to person and continue to live and drive entire families mad towards evil, and then jump to another family and drive them towards evil. You could be eternally evil.
Is that what happens in the second season? Like it's jumped to another family?
It's not. Kind of thing, we don't know that it's Pazuzu, or at least not up till where I've watched, which is only the first 3 episodes.
I've seen people say that one of those priests like deserves an Emmy nomination for like just the caliber of his performance.
The older priest is amazing.
Ridiculously
he's so good. He's so good.
That's what John Squires from Bloody was
saying. So yeah, I would have said Victor Crowley or Pazuzu as my runner-up.
I could see Victor Crowley, though. I mean, I can even subscribe to that thinking. I mean, the regenerative aspect that you mentioned.
No matter how dead you get one night, the next night you're back.
As you found out after the 3rd one, you told me? He got, like, shot to shit and, like, blown up.
Second one, actually.
Second one, okay.
Yeah, second one. Yeah, Danielle Harris, at the end of the second one is amazing, though. That's the F.U. with the shotgun blast to the head, but he still comes back from that.
Is it a better shotgun blast to the head than Punisher Warzone?
Yes.
Really?
It's a better shotgun blast than that. I'm telling you, you need to watch 2 and 3. You need to watch 2 and 3. It's amazing.
Yes, I have them. It's his copies,
So anyway, so that's going to do it, you guys. That was a fun episode. Just a little diversion, vlog, sort of.
Shooting the shizzle, y'all.
Yeah, exactly. So let us know in the comments down below if you agree with us, or if you have different horror icons you would choose to be than what we brought up.
Who do we miss?
Why. Tell us why you would want to be these people, just like we explained to you. So
or former people.
I've got the hiccups now. But thank you guys very much for watching. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
And I've been Jaime Fuego.
And remember, stay scared. Alright. I gotta get up and stop it. No. Stop it. Go away.